Welcome to the Izzi and Nils Show. Today, our biggest marketing fails. Was that the right title?
Yes. In the last episode, we said in the ending sometime that we should watch each other while we do the podcast. So right now we have a Zoom meeting open where we can see our webcams. And I can see the pig in the back behind your fridge. What is it with that?
It's a chopping board.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's a pig. How cruel.
I know. It's quite mean, but it's quite pretty, so I like it.
It's very pretty.
Yes. Do you think people know that we're not sat in the same room?
No, because we have the same microphone.
Yeah.
But I think we said that in the first episode, in the intro.
True.
I don't remember. Yeah. No, but I think people will think we're in the same room, but actually we're 3.5 thousand kilometers away from each other. Hello, internet.
Oh, I was going to say, how did you know that? You're like Rain Man.
Oh, I saw you on Tinder.
Ah, okay.
No, I didn't. It's weird. I think my voice is really deeper today because I hear myself, because I'm connected to the microphone, so I have the monitoring on and I can hear my own voice. And I think normally I speak like this in this pitch, but today I have the voice that I can enjoy when I hear myself, because when I'm speaking too high, I always think I sound very
fabulous.
We should start.
Okay.
In this episode, I will talk about my 3 biggest marketing fails. We will tell you what to do to not fail at SEO, and we will tell you how to recover from a marketing fail, as well as how to embrace it and learn from your failures.
Yes. So, Nils, what do you think counts as a fail?
I think many things are considered a fail that aren't really a fail. So many people think that only because something doesn't work or because they don't reach the numbers that they want to reach, they think that what they do is failing. But I think that's wrong. So I think more things count as fail than really are a fail. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Really failing at something means you're stopping doing it in the future. So if you just try things out and some things work and some things don't work, that's totally normal. And I think failing means you messed it up and you cannot continue with what you're doing. That's just my definition. What's yours?
So there are good fails and there are bad fails, right? There are bad fails in which you don't succeed in the goal that you laid out, and it causes a lot of harm, and instead of doing anything about it, you move on to the next topic or the next plan.
Yeah.
And a good fail is something that you can really learn from, and in the end you say, okay, that didn't succeed, that didn't work, but at least I learned something about it and I'm a better marketer for doing that anyway.
Yeah, that's right. So I think in general fails are cool because either you learn from them or you decide to continue with something different, which is nice as well. So failing is kind of cool.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's the podcast. Over.
Yeah. Okay. Goodbye. See you next time. No, just
I used to like watching fail video compilations when I was younger.
I do that almost every night when I want to sleep. I go to YouTube and watch Fail Army.
Amazing. I didn't know they still existed. I thought they just transitioned into memes. Okay, I know what I'm doing tonight.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Don't tell us.
I have something stuck in my throat.
That's what
That was a good one. So, Nils, you mentioned that you have 3 marketing failure stories for us. And what is the first one?
Yeah, the 3 stories I brought you, one is about conversion optimization, where something failed, where I optimized a website. The second one is about a startup that I started, which failed. And the last one is about a business that I started that failed because of my sales abilities. But yeah, so I think the last one is the most extreme fail that I had, but I'll start with the least extreme one of the three. And this was for a client we were working on in my agency time, and it was a tourism website. And we had a contract with them where we were getting paid by uplift. So if we improve the conversion rate, we would get paid for each percentage uplift that we do.
Oh,
Sounds nice,
yeah.
but it's hard. It's really hard to prove that this uplift was really done by you and not by external factors or something.
Hmm.
But however, so because we thought this is a new client, and we looked at the website, and the website was really kind of ugly. So if the person we were working for is listening to this, he will know who we mean, and hello. Also, he's not working for the company anymore, and also it's fine to have websites that don't look super nice, because
Hmm.
sometimes you want to attract a low budget audience, so people want to buy very cheap hostels, for example, or book very cheap hostel rooms, which is the topic of the website that we optimized or tried to optimize. And because we were getting this revenue share, if you want to call it like that, or uplift share, so money for lifting the conversion rates, we decided to put a lot of effort in the first test, because we thought improving the design is a low-hanging fruit, because the website is ugly, and if we make it not ugly, then more people will book the hotel. And so we spent about 5 weeks total with about, I think we were 8 or 9 people working on the project. So we changed the whole design of the website, set up the whole test. It was a really big project, and we were expecting to earn a lot of money from this. And
Hmm.
so as soon as we started the test, we saw that the numbers dropped. And so it stayed like this all the time. So we decreased the conversion rate by about 20% by adding a design that looked better. And it was the beginning of my professional A/B testing life. So I didn't have that much experience, and I was very confused. But in the end, it turned out that the better, or the higher class the design looked, the more expensive people thought the product would be, although it was the same price, but it felt more expensive. So, because they had a low budget audience that just wanted to book cheap hotels or hostel rooms, this led to a decreased conversion rate. And in the end, we spent, as I said, about 5 weeks with 8 or 9 people, and we paid a lot for this. So we paid a lot of our time to
Ooh.
do that. Other projects were set aside because we thought this is the most important, and here we will earn here we will earn the most money.
Hmm.
And it turned out to be a huge failure, because in the end we didn't get a single cent, because it was all 100% performance based payment. And so that was a really bad marketing fail. But the learning, so because of course from every fail you should learn something. In the end, I found out that design isn't that important, or at least the design has to match the perception of pricing that you want to communicate. So if you have a low budget product, you should have a design that looks like low budget. Doesn't mean that it should be ugly, but it means that the design should not look too expensive, too high class. For example, if Rolex had a website, they shouldn't use an ugly homepage where you have low quality images or something. And Rolex does have that, so they do it wrong, but at least sometimes. So that was a big learning, where I found out that design doesn't always have to look
Hmm.
very, very, very good. It should always match the pricing that you have for your products.
Yeah, also, I think design is sometimes a matter of opinion and of taste. So, what you think looks magnificent and beautiful and will surely, have an impact on performance, um, might be absolutely horrible for someone else. My doorbell just rang.
Yeah, I heard that. Okay, so that was the least severe of my 3 fails that I have for you today. Okay, so this was about conversion optimization, and there are a lot of fails in SEO I have heard
Hmm.
of. I think you have more to say about that. I just heard about the BMW one, where they lost all of their rankings because they were doing things. Have
Bad,
you heard
bad
of that?
things. Yeah, it was how long ago now? Like maybe 10 years ago or something?
Long ago, I don't know.
They were cloaking, I think.
All right.
Yeah, we spoke about cloaking in our number 1 episode, CRO
Yeah,
versus SEO.
right. Correct. So if you want to know more about this, listen to that. Fuckers. Sorry.
Nils gets aggressive sometimes.
Do you remember Dan from last episode?
Of course I do.
We were hanging around a lot. There were a lot of dogs in Bali, and Dan says his favorite dogs. No, not joking. His favorite dogs are the ones that are small and aggressive.
What?
He was always like, I was joking about it, and like, yeah, you carry them in your bag, and it's so cute if they bark at everyone. He was always like, yes.
Amazing.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So yeah, it was like 10 years ago, I think, and they were cloaking, you said.
You shouldn't do that. Find out why in episode number 1. Yeah, so big failures in SEO can result in horrible things like a penalty or manual penalty from Google. And that means you pretty much lose all of your rankings. It could be for a site or for part of your site. There are cases where you don't even rank for brand, or your site is just completely gone from organic search. And if you rely on organic traffic, if it's like a big source of income for you, which it should be, it can result in businesses going down, because if you're removed from SERPs completely, no one can find you.
At least not without paying money for that.
True.
Do you know if there are penalties from other search engines as well, or is that a Google thing?
I don't know, actually. Let me Google it.
Really?
So that
I'm asking for other search engines and you Google it.
Of course, I'm not going to Bing it, am I?
Do people say I Bing something or Yahoo something? Let me Alta Vista that.
If someone said, let me Bing that, I would just immediately
punch him.
Yes. I don't know. They must do. Can you cut this out so that I sound smart in front of all the other SEO people?
Of course.
You're not going to, are you?
No.
Let's say probably, because other search engines also rely on similar algorithms. So they must do. They must punish bad sites.
What are reasons you get penalties for? So what should you not do if you don't want to be removed or lose your rankings?
So there is sometimes confusion between algorithms and penalties. Like an algorithm such as Panda, which rewards high quality content or punishes low, thin, or spammy content, or Penguin, which affects sites that manipulate backlinks. And these are part of Google's core algorithm and not penalties. So there is a big difference between a penalty and an algorithm update. So a penalty will be communicated to you in Google Search Console, and it's like really you are removed from the SERPs.
I'm sure we have some listeners here that don't know Google Search Console, because not everyone is in SEO. Can you just explain really quickly what that is?
Yeah, Google Search Console is like the liaison between you and your search results. So you can see on there the performance of your clicks, your impressions on organic search, so how often you are present on the SERPs, and also your average position ranking, as well as lots of other cool features like what pages are indexed, which aren't indexed, what is in your robots.txt, checking your structured data for errors.
That's enough.
Okay, I love Google Search Console. We could speak about that all night.
Maybe we make an extra episode for that.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to use it and you don't use it already, you just Google for Google Search Console and then you will find it.
Don't Bing
link
it.
in the description. No, we don't. We don't put a Google link in the description.
And this is also how Google will communicate with you when they tell you, hey, you're not playing by the rules, have a penalty, and go fuck yourself, you are gone from organic. And once you receive this message, in order to get rid of it, you're going to have to clean up what you've done wrong, whether it's shitty content, spammy backlinks, or I will go into more penalties later. And then you have to send a review request to Google and say, hey, I'm playing by the rules now. Please get rid of my penalty. And if you have done everything right, then it's gone.
Have you done that? Have you experienced that?
Yes, I have. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I experienced a structured data penalty.
You, of all of them.
Me?
The structured data queen.
Yes, of course. I know. I had to start with the black hat stuff and work my way to the quality stuff. Yes, I don't know why I'm saying it wasn't.
Just say I and pretend it was you.
Yeah, it was
not
me.
a company you're working for. Thin ice.
Thin ice. I was taking review markup in order to get rating stars and SERPs, and illegally spamming it around on every single landing page, even though it wasn't a proper estimation of those reviews. So I only had 5 stars and I only had 1 review per page, and it wasn't even generated on that page. So taking that structured data, that schema markup, adding it to all my landing pages to get 5 stars in my rich snippet. And then Google said, you bastard, you're having a structured data penalty, and removed all of my rich snippets.
Oh, that must have hurt.
It was very painful, but this is a while ago, a long time ago.
Did you cry?
A little bit, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
I trusted you.
No, actually, I was doing this in a time where I had no idea what structured data really was. So it was like, hey, if I paste this little bit of code on one page, it's going to create something pretty in the Google results. So I'm just going to put it everywhere. And after removing all the spammy structured data, I submitted it to Google, and they realized I was playing by the rules, and now I have rich snippets back.
Cool. So they removed all your rich snippets, or just the ones for the stars?
No, all of them.
Oh.
So no structured data would work anymore in generating rich results.
That's a bad penalty.
It is. I think it's quite a common one, or at least it was a few years ago. Everyone wants these star ratings in the SERPs. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So structured data is not only for getting position 0 results, where the immediate answer is from your website and appears in the search result, but it's also for stars. And there used to be these author images.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you looking like that?
Because...
Am I talking bullshit?
Yes.
Okay.
Nils, you never attended one of my talks yet.
I did, but I didn't listen. It was my conference. I couldn't.
Okay.
I had to be depressed. More about that in my last fail.
Oh, but let's talk about structured data in the next or in a future episode.
Next or future?
Yeah. Or is that a question?
Yes.
Wasn't the next one about rich results?
It's about rich search experience, yes.
Okay. Which will mention structured data.
So tune in next time for... Sorry, that was the second time today. I'm so sorry.
But there's also quite a few other penalties you can get for different bad behaviors. I wonder if there is a record out there for an SEO that's got the most amount of penalties. That would be cool.
Who would have this record? You?
I only have one. That's nothing.
Okay.
But also, I wasn't really around SEO in the early days of Black Hat manipulation. Unfortunately, That would have been fun, even though I'm quite a pure SEO. But there are penalties for cloaking, for thin content pages that bring no benefit to a website, And there's also penalties for spamming user-generated content. If you're not properly moderating comments, like on a blog or a forum, that can also give you a penalty.
How does that work? Like, if you have just duplicate content there, or if they're using swear words, or what's the reason for a penalty?
I don't know exactly how they track that, but it must somehow trigger like comments coming from a different author. So you know you have that authorship when you leave a remark on a blog or on an article or on a forum, and like an increased amount of people providing their links there, you know.
Yeah, like the reason to comment.
Yeah, and yeah, there's also penalties for spammy outlinks from your site. So if you're selling backlinks on your website to other websites, there's also a penalty for that. I think it was Forbes who one day got a penalty for selling editorial links or selling unnatural links on their website. So there are even quite big and currently well-respected websites that can get penalized. It's a nice word.
Yeah. Can I penalize you?
Oh, nice. That's a nice SEO chat-up line.
Yes, it is. Dating for SEO. I thought it's called penalize and not penalize.
It's penalize.
My whole word is a lie. But it's penalty, it's not penalty. Oh God, I'm so young.
That's a good point. English is a difficult language.
Yes. Have you heard of this poem about the English language? It's called The Chaos.
No. What is it?
I can read some of that, so we have some culture in here.
Yes.
I have to find it. It's called The Chaos by Gérard Knowles Trinité. What an Englishman. I will read the introduction. This is a classic English poem containing about 800 of the worst irregularities in English spelling and pronunciation. Blah, 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 and so on. And so it goes, dearest creature in creation, studying English pronunciation, I will teach you in my verse. Sounds like corpse, core, horse, or worse. It only makes sense if you see the words, by the way, because they all look the same. Yeah, they are spelled the same, but it's totally different. I will continue just two more verses, and then is it verse or verse? I don't even know.
Verse.
I will keep you, Susie, busy. Make your head with heat grow dizzy. Izzy. Tear in eye, your dress you'll tear. Queer, fair seer, hear my prayer. Pray, console your loving poet. Make my coat look new, dear, sue it. Just compare heart, hear, and heard. Dice and diet, Lord and word. I think this is very uninteresting for the audience. I will stop now.
I just wish they could see your confused face reading it out. It looked painful.
Where were we?
So you don't really hear about these penalization stories these days.
Yes. We are very adult.
Maybe people are being more quiet about their penalties, but also I think SEOs are improving the quality of their optimizations and they're playing more by the rules because it's a lot harder to cut corners these days and win rankings by carrying out these spammy practices. I know there are some really cool black hat hacks out there that SEOs, like there's the great Tom Anthony who is doing black hat hacks, but he's talking about them and he's writing about them and telling Google about them. And it's not like he is gaining, he's not like gaming the system to make money through these hacks. He's doing it because he's interested in how search engines work and he wants to use these studies for learning and everything.
Is there a website that we can link to in the show notes?
Yes, he writes articles about these. So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay, you will find the links in the show notes then.
So yeah, sites don't seem to be getting penalized so much anymore, or at least it's quiet. But what's still very impactful are the algorithm changes and the fact that the core parts of Google's algorithm that can impact your site, and that's not a penalty, because this is like over a gradual time you will see drops. I'm using my hands right now like I'm stood on a stage.
That is true.
I don't know why I do this.
Because I see you.
I mean, Google's not writing to you and saying, hey, you're getting impacted by the Panda algorithm, sort out your content. I think you have to be a semi-decent SEO to notice these things and address these over time dropping rankings. And you have to clean it up. You have to take a lot of time in improving the quality of your strategies and whatever is impacting it. And then hopefully, if you're doing it right, then you're climbing back up those results. But that's the main difference between a penalty and being impacted by the algorithms. Does that make sense, Nils?
I didn't listen.
Oh.
No, I'm just kidding. Yes, it makes sense.
Good.
She's making the thinking face right now. Like the smiley with the thumb and the pointing finger. By the way, whenever I'm talking about the second biggest toe on your foot, I'm calling it the pointing toe because I don't know how else I would call it. But then again, it's very strange because people don't point at things with their feet.
Yes. What? What?
It's fine. You don't have to try it now.
I was trying to take off my slipper so that I can... No.
Okay.
Who of your friends are pointing at things with their toes?
No one. When I'm talking about it, don't ask why I talk about this, but
okay.
Whenever I talk about it and I want to say, like I use the same words that I use for hands, like pointing finger, middle finger, ring finger. There's also a ring toe. So, yeah.
Is it a common occasion that you have to speak about individual toes?
Next question.
So I think good SEOs or SEOs in general should welcome core algorithm updates and changes, at least the quality-based ones, because if they're doing everything a good SEO should be doing, then it will only stand to improve their performance and to demote the performance of spammy websites, which can annoyingly sometimes get in the way. Okay, now we've spent so long talking about SEO, I think you should give us your second biggest marketing failure story.
Okay. So, yeah, my second biggest is about a startup that I started. I can say the name here because we promised in the intro episode, we promised not to sell anything here, but the startup failed. So I can mention it. So it was called Smartimize. And it was a tool where you could answer questions about your website, and then the tool would tell you what to change about your website to increase your conversions. And I think the idea was great. And when I started the website for it, or I started the beta sign-up landing page where people could request their invite, I got a lot of people there, and people signed up with a percentage of about 40 to 60%. So the conversion rate was really, really high. And it made me feel very excited for the product or for the launch of it, because I thought this would be my breakthrough where I'm building a great tool that thousands of people will use. And we had like 6,500 signups or something in the end. And then I stopped it because I realized I could never finish the tool, because what I did wrong was 100% of my time I focused on the marketing, on building the mailing list and everything. And while doing all of that and being all excited, I forgot to build the product. And so that's a bit weird and a bit stupid. I don't hear you, Izzi, if you're...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you were laughing silently.
It was a silent laugh. Sorry.
That's fine. And you have to laugh loud so people can hear, because they can't see you, and then they will think it's funny.
That. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, so yeah, that was my big learning. So if you build something, you shouldn't spend all your time on marketing, and also you shouldn't spend all your time on developing the product, but instead you should make it 50-50 or something, because both are super important. And if you don't do it, then the product will fail. Either you have not enough people who want to use it, or you have enough people, but you have something that you will never finish. Should I say more about this?
Yeah, if you want to.
Okay, because you were talking so long about SEO, I'll put some CRO input here.
Yeah.
So maybe to explain how I managed to get a conversion rate that was, depending on the channel, was like 40 to 60%. I think there are a few different, very important things that you have to do. So first of all, of course, the traffic that you get, the sources of the traffic, of the people that come to the site, are very important. So, for example, if I tell my followers on Facebook or on whatever platform to take a look at it, to sign up for it, that is pretty simple. So these people will sign up anyway, but this is a very limited source of people coming to the website because I don't know too many people, and I don't know, I could maybe get 1,000 signups from my followers, and then that's it. So instead, what I tried, I made it alone mostly. So what I tried was, for example, partnering with some Facebook groups where we have a big WordPress group on there. And I think this has, I don't know how many, but 20,000 members or something. And I was talking to the admins of the group and asked them if it would be all right to post a link there and tell people to sign up because it's free. So the beta sign up was free and they could use it for free for a while. And then the admin said that's fine. And only by posting this link to the group, we had like 450 signups in 1 hour. So that worked really well. And then also we put the project on producthunt.com where you can show your new products, your beta websites, your sign up websites to a very large audience. And that also brought more than 1,000 signups in 3 days or something. So there are many different traffic channels that you can use without having SEO rankings. So because when you have a new website, you don't get the rankings, you get them over time. And is that right?
It does take time. It's not
Yes.
sprint.
Oh God.
Oh my God.
It was on my head. Oh God.
That's what she said.
Oh my God. It was sitting here. Did you see that?
No.
Oh my God. I'm afraid of insects.
Are you?
Yes. I mean not flies in general, but it's a monster fly. It's like 5 times the size. It's a Brummer. It's the German word for them, the big flies, the fat flies. I forgot where I was.
SEO takes time and patience. It's not a sprint. It's a steady
Marathon.
It's a marathon. Yeah, that's the one.
That's such a bullshit bingo.
I know.
All right. So there are many sources that you can use to get people to your new website, especially if you want to charge people one day. So if you have a subscription-based service or you want to sell a product or something, I think taking advantage of the moment where it isn't done yet, but where people are interested and can sign up without a transaction. So they don't have to give you their money. They can just they just give you their email, and there's a very low inhibition threshold. People are very likely to give you their email addresses because they don't have to pay for anything. Then you can use email marketing to sell your product to them later. So that's, I think, a very nice thing to do. And also when you start your own business, when you launch the paid plan or whatever, then you instantly have a huge audience that you can potentially get as customers. So I think that makes sense. And to achieve that, not only the traffic source is important, but also you need to have a very good landing page, obviously. And I think for the landing page, it's important that it doesn't explain too much. So I wouldn't build a landing page which has the typical long copy where you explain everything in detail. But in the first moment, when you just want to collect the email addresses, it's enough to just make people interested enough to give you their email address. And what you need for that is, first of all, a very good headline that explains what you're offering and maybe how it's unique. You should explain how it works in general, like maybe like 1, 2, 3 steps or something. And then I would instantly ask for the email address. And then maybe deeper on the website, you should say, who is this product for, who can use it? So you can give some more details, and maybe also what's our plan for the launch, like when are we launching and so on. And you should make use of some exclusivity where you say, for example, if you sign up now for the beta invite, which is free, then you will get a surprise as a thank you, or you will get a discount when we launch the paid version or whatever. So just think of something that makes people want to sign up. And this should be enough for your landing page. And then it's very important to have a great email funnel. So if people put their email address there, then they should come to a website or to a sub page of your website where you solely focus on there's still something to do. You still have to confirm your email address. So you shouldn't say something like, thank you for signing up. Please confirm your email address, because as soon as you write something like thank you or welcome or success or done or whatever, the brain will stop. So I guess you know it when you sign up for a newsletter and you get the thank you page, you just don't read it. Or if you buy something and you get the confirmation page, you don't read the confirmation page. And so you shouldn't say anything that makes the people think that they are done. So instead, write something like, one more step, please confirm your email address, something like that. And just focus your website on that copy and don't put anything else there. So don't do cross promotions or anything. It should really only be focused around confirming the email address. And then when you send the email address, there's some things you have to keep in mind. For example, the sender's name should not necessarily be your company. What I found leads to a higher opening rate of your email is when I write Nils from company name. So if you do that, it usually increases the opening rate because people want to communicate with persons and not with businesses. So that's something you can do. Then also your subject line of your email, it can contain Unicode icons like emojis if you want, because that sometimes grabs more attention than if you don't use them, because people get a lot of emails every day and then your email pops out or sticks out of the inbox because people will see it more easily if there's an icon in the subject line, but you don't really have to do it. Also, I think sometimes it might trigger the spam filters. I don't know. Could be. And your subject line should just contain something like confirm your email address so that people understand, oh, this is the email that I have to open. And very often, if you sign up for something, you see subject lines like, welcome to blah, blah, blah. Please confirm your email address. Or thank you for your interest in, please confirm your email address. So you have to keep in mind that people sometimes, depending on the layout, when they're on their desktop. So for example, my inbox, the column with the emails is very, very narrow. So I just see like 3 to 5 words of the subject line.
Yeah,
I'm such a trendsetter for you.
I know.
That's the thing. And then also the content of your email should be focused all around confirming the email address. So usually when you open one of these confirmation emails, all you do is you skim it and you just search for the link that you have to click to confirm the email. You don't read anything of the email. So usually what works best is put a great button there. We're not talking about buttons really, but it works. Yeah, because people just want to find something they can click. Yeah, and that's enough for this email. So of course you can say something like, why are we sending you this? What was the reason you signed up? But it shouldn't be too promotional because you are not allowed to do that, at least if you're in a European country where the GDPR is in your life. Yeah, so you can say that because sometimes people sign up and they sign up on a Friday evening and they see the email Monday morning and they don't really remember what they wanted. But yeah, for that, it can make sense. But other than that, don't put anything inside that email. So just focus on clicking the confirmation button. And then when you get to the thank you page after confirming your email, people usually say, thank you for subscribing. And then they put a button there that says back to homepage, which is very stupid because why would you send the people to the homepage where they already signed up? So it doesn't make sense. And what you should do there is ask for a post conversion. So a conversion that comes after your conversion. And easy things that you could do there are like making people follow you on social media. So give them reasons why they should follow you on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, on wherever. So tell them what they will find there and why it's interesting for them. But what's even better is if you use a tool called Pay with a Tweet or Pay with a Share. We will put the link in the description, in the show notes. And if you use that, you can create some type of content or a content piece that's super relevant for the people who signed up. So for example, if you have some travel business and people sign up for that, you could, for example, create a PDF where you have the 10 most desirable but unknown traveling locations. So something that people might want to have, and people can download it if they share your website. That works with these pay with a tweet or pay with a share tools. It makes an API request and just sees, did people really share this website or not? And if they shared it, they will be able to download the content piece right from your website where they are on. So this can lead to virality. So you're going viral with your page if for every person who shares it, at least one new person will share it. If that happens, you get a very, very, very big stream of traffic usually. And also it's all recommendation traffic because people recommended it to their friends in social media. And that's, I would say, the best traffic that you can get. That was it.
Awesome. I know so much about email marketing now.
You should build an online course and sell it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I know. But you need a Lamborghini for that to pose in front of and say, earn 4,435 euros per day passively with my email course.
What are you referring to?
All the people who do that.
Oh, I always see
Don't you know
Porsches.
them? Oh, I usually see Lamborghini or just any expensive car that they rented for a day with the money from their parents. But you know these people, right? Who sell their online courses with bullshit.
Of course, yeah.
Okay. Making money by telling people how to make money.
Oh, yes.
Filth.
Yeah, bastards.
I don't know if they make money, all these get rich fast people, but I think every one of them is a failure by design. Like the person, not necessarily their business, but they are just stupid, in my opinion. I can offend people, I don't mind.
I think they're like con men, we call them.
What's that? Oh, I know. I had a conference called Short Con, and people always said, you know what Short Con means, right? I said, yeah, short conference. And they said, no, it's Betrug. So if you're playing poker and you're betraying people.
Do you mean bluffing? You're like lying in order to...
Yeah, like that.
It's kind of like that, but it's more deceptive and more negative than that. Because if you're conning people, like with your own conference, you're leading them to believe that they're there for a good reason and they're going to learn all about marketing or about SEO, and really they're just getting sold a lot of bad tips. Yes, that is a good example of a bad fail.
I mean, still, I think they can sell their products because they have an audience that is very, I wouldn't say dumb, but it's inexperienced, and they don't know better. And these people take advantage of that.
Exactly. Wait, I need a beer first. Because, it's time to hear your biggest marketing fail story. Which is?
Oh, that was the question.
Or I can...
No, it's fine. You don't have to ask. It's yeah. So I have this podcast. I'm kidding.
I'm heartbroken.
This is my masterpiece.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess many people here who know me, if there are any, will know about my conference that I had in Berlin. I could say it, I guess.
Yes.
So the conference is called OM Live. And I used to have it in Berlin. And in the first year, we rented a venue with a maximum of like 550 seats. And of course, we tried to get it sold out or booked out. And we managed to get 430 people in there. And it was really nice. So I expected less. I expected like 300 people. And it was cool. So it was a conference with mostly German speakers in Berlin. And I thought, because we managed to get so many attendees, even in the first year, that the next year it would all be much better, and I could get much more reach. People would know more about it because we had some media coverage and so on. And I changed a thing because I thought it would be important to go international, because I think the German marketing scene, like SEO, CRO, I don't know, I think all disciplines in Germany, we're like 3 to 5 years behind what people do in some other countries, like US, UK maybe. They do the stuff that we don't even think of today sometimes.
That's
Do you
true.
agree?
Yeah. Not
Cool.
all
No,
the
of
time,
course.
but
No.
I agree.
Yeah. So, yeah, my idea was to make it an international conference because Berlin is very international. There are so many expats that live
Yeah.
there that don't speak German, that speak English or any other language, but every one of them speaks English. And yeah, so I thought it would make sense to have 100% English talks and to rent a bigger venue. So we were talking to a huge location where we had 800 seats, and it was a very, very impressive location because my dream, to sound cheesy, was always to make it the best conference in the world, like the best day of the year for the people that attend there, at least in a professional perspective. And I didn't want to earn money with it. So it was really just, I'm fine if I don't lose money with this conference because it's just, yeah, my heart was in there, and it really was. So I did everything. I spent so many hours just working on this for free, and I thought everyone would have to buy the ticket instantly because it's so cool. Because we had so cool speakers, such great speakers like Izzi, and um, no, but seriously, we had, I think, a great lineup,
Yeah, super awesome. Yeah.
great location, great catering, everything. So I thought it would work. And also the ticket prices were really low. It was like 300 euros for a ticket. And even the catering, I said that in a past episode of this podcast, the catering was about 100 euros per person. So we didn't really earn anything. Also, we paid all of our speakers. And yeah, I didn't want to earn money with it. And so when the ticket sales started, I thought that on the first day people would buy 400 tickets instantly, and it was like 30. So the tickets didn't really go away. I couldn't really sell them. And then I was a bit frustrated, but I still went on. I still continued to try to promote the conference. And then I started things like direct messaging people on Facebook. And this works. So many people buy a ticket just because you send them a private message if it's in your friends list. But it's very uncomfortable. So I hate selling
Yeah.
stuff. I'm not a salesperson, and I feel very annoying when I have to write messages to people to buy my stuff. I feel bad when I do that. So that was not so nice. But then still, at one point we were at, I think, 150 ticket sales or at 200 or something, and I set myself a deadline that if I don't sell 300 ticket on day X, I will cancel the conference because it was just too high risk because the location was really expensive. My caterer was kind of expensive, and yeah, so there was like 80,000 euros on the table from my private money that I could have lost. And so, yeah, the day came. Also, I had an employee that helped me with it. If he's listening, hello, Lucas. I still love you
Oh,
in a professional way,
of course.
and not like a whore, but you know what I mean.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, and so the day came where I had to cancel it, and that was so terrible for me. So I made this video. It was the most liked post I ever had on Facebook, where I just recorded myself telling people that it's done, that I will cancel the conference, and I had to cry like a baby, but I cut most of it out. But of course, I made the cuts so that you could see it's happening, but you don't see the action itself. Yeah, but
I was so heartbroken seeing that.
me too. I was so heartbroken
Yeah,
recording that.
of
It
course.
was one of the worst days of
Yeah.
my career. And yeah, so the problem with this fail, if we want to call it like that, I didn't learn anything about that fail itself. So I wouldn't know today how to make it better. because I couldn't figure out what was wrong, because from my perspective everything was perfect except people didn't buy the tickets. I don't know if it was because it was all English, and in Germany is not ready for that. I couldn't imagine that this is the case, but maybe it is. Who knows? Also, there was the football championship, the world championship at the same time, but I don't think that people don't go to a conference just because some stupid sports club is playing. And yeah, I just didn't know. So that's what's kind of bad for me.
Yeah.
But then again, when I recorded this video and I published the video, I thought people would be mad at me, because I mean I sent back all the money that I earned from the ticket sales already. It was like one day only transferring money away from a bank account, which is also not so cool. But
No.
it's fine. I mean, I don't deserve it if it doesn't happen. I don't mean to be dramatic here, but Izzi, don't cry. Yeah, but what I learned from all of this, because people weren't mad at me. I thought everyone would be not cool, give me my money back, blah blah blah. And instead, I got the nicest feedback of the world.
Yeah.
I got, I don't know, 200 comments under the video, and everyone was basically loving me for the video. And that was a very strange moment, because I felt so bad for posting the video, and then again, people gave me the biggest respect for doing that. And they said that's what we need. We need people who run or leaders or people who run businesses that embrace failure, and that don't always only say we are so successful with everything, and we never fail, we earn all the money, and we just do things that work perfectly. But I was brutally honest in there, saying what didn't work, and I also explained the reasons and so on. And I think it's very important to embrace failure and to talk about it. And yeah, that was my learning. So yeah, it was like I think it was the best thing I could do in the end. And in the end, so just to end the story, I decided not to just cancel the conference, but to make it an online conference. And I texted to all the speakers if they would be a part of it if we do it online instead of locally. And also, they wouldn't get money anymore because it would be a free event. And of all the speakers, everyone except a very small number, which is one, which is two, said that they would be a part of it. And that was really, really, really cool, because I got so much support from them and so much understanding. Also, the speakers who said they wouldn't do it, they didn't say that because they wanted money or something. They said that because they don't want recordings of them online that everyone could see, which I can understand, which is totally fine. Yeah. I also said to them that they could say, no, we won't participate, and I wouldn't be mad at anyone, and I'm not. So it was an online conference, and I used this to promote my new startup, which I will not mention. But after doing this, we had 1,800 accounts set up for my new startup. So in the end, it turned out to be a good thing. But still, it was a very hard way to get there. Okay,
so emotional.
I almost had to get wet eyes again when talking about that. It was really terrible.
Yeah. I can't even imagine. You put all this heart into this event, and it's not like you were trying to make a profit. You were more trying to create a cool alternative and different conference for online marketers, and have a pretty awesome party, right? And then...
Yes. It happens.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there are many projects in this world, not only in marketing, but for example, I met this girl, Emma, from Denmark, and she has a project where she wants to clean the ocean of plastic trash. And she has such a hard time to do that, although it's a great project. But I think just because you have a great idea, it doesn't mean that other people even if they understand, it doesn't mean that they will give you their money. So I think that's something you should always have in your business plan, that people might not buy it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think in general, failing with something, if it's in business or in private life or wherever, is not a problem. It's not bad as long as you learn. You just always have to have some learning from the things you do wrong. This sounds like a life coach podcast now.
I love it. So existential.
Yes, I need to do yoga. Click pause for a second.
Namaste.
So really, it's okay to fail, and you will fail. Everyone will at a point. And of course, you don't have to tell the public about it, but I think it's nothing you should be ashamed of, and it's something you should learn from, and then it's cool, it's fine. And as long as you're not, I don't know, losing your home and sleep under a bridge, it wasn't too bad. Also, we have a friend who's called Marlene.
She's a great friend. Yeah.
Yeah, she's cool. And hello, Marlene, because she will listen to this.
Yes.
If she won't speak to us about this part, we know that she doesn't listen, and then we can do bad things to her.
We can unfriend her and cut her out of our lives. Yes.
Yeah, and kick her out of our group
on
WhatsApp. And she just asked me, and I guess also you, I guess she asked multiple persons what we think of the idea to create a podcast that is solely focused on fails. And she would invite people to ask them to share their stories of when they failed and when something didn't work and what they learned from it and so on. And I think that's a super, super cool idea. Yeah. And it's super interesting because, I mean, I don't know, my stories today, for me, they are interesting. I don't know if you out there think the same, but you can maybe give me a feedback on this because I'm seriously curious and we want tweets. So use hashtag Izzi Nils Show and post on Twitter and tell us if it was interesting for you or not, because that would be also a great feedback for Marlene, our friend, who will run this podcast on fails in German, though, I think. But I guess many of you are Germans. Our statistics say that most of our listeners are German until this day, at least.
Oh.
And you didn't see the statistics, right?
No.
I should show them to you. Okay, I can show you after this.
Can you make me a PowerPoint presentation?
Of course. And so end of story. I think it's okay to fail. It's okay to talk about failures because it's a very, very good opportunity to learn and to grow.
Definitely. And that's what's most important. Growing.
That's what she said.
What are you waiting for? Okay, end the podcast after your point. I have nothing more to add.
What an emotional ending. Thanks for listening, everyone. I think this episode was really long, so thanks for listening until the end. If you didn't, just fast forward to this point. So if you have anything to add, please use hashtag Izzi Nils Show. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Spotify, to our iTunes. We are on iTunes now, by the way, if you haven't heard that already. So just go to itunes.izzinilsshow.com or to spotify.izzinilsshow.com or to youtube.izzinilsshow.com or to soundcloud.izzinilsshow.com. Subscribe everywhere because we need the attention. And see you next time, where we will talk about how to create a richer search experience. So while I was talking a lot today, next time Izzi will talk a lot so you can hear her
charming British accent.
Yes, that.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, wait. Sorry. I hear myself now. It's very strange. Thank you for listening to the Izzi and Nils Show. Tune in next time. Bye.
Bye.
I mean, most of the memes I sent you, I just find enjoyable, but I don't necessarily do.
Is that how high your laughter goes? A sniff?
When I'm alone, yeah. I mean, sometimes I really laugh when I'm alone, but it's not very common to do that.
No. I think I've only heard the proper Nils laugh a few times.
I've heard it a lot of times, but I spend a lot of time with myself. So
Nice.
yeah,
That's
but I
what she
hate my
said.
laugh. Ooh. When I'm laughing, really, it sounds really strange. It's like like that. Like that. Also, my
No.
podcast laugh is terrible because whenever I hear it, when I cut the podcast and I cut all the great moments out that the world cannot listen to,
Mm-hmm.
then I usually do like so. Well,
I didn't notice that. You should
now
just
you
live with
will.
it. Live with it.
Yeah, I mean it's still in there. You just have to listen to the episodes, which you
Mm-hmm.
might never do. How does your beer taste?
Fantastic.